Welcome back to Smoker Ribs. I'm Russ Jones. Today I get to actually cook on my new Santa Maria grill from Star Grillz. And we're doing something kind of simple, but we're going to kind of mix it up a little bit. I'm doing chicken and ribs, but I'm doing one rack of ribs and one chicken, like good old USA barbecue with a rub, and sauce it up with some sort of American-made barbecue sauce. The other rack of ribs and the other chicken, I'm going to put more of a South American twist to it, more of an Argentine, Chile, Uruguay type flavor into that. And we're going to get started here in a few minutes. I've already got some lump charcoal heating up, and we're going to get it started over here on the grill momentarily. So I've got one chimney full of lump charcoal. We're going to go on right now, and I'll explain to you what else I've got going on here. So I've got lava rocks in here, and we're just going to place this lump charcoal all in between the lava rock. So the lava rock, it does a couple of things. It's going to help keep even temperature across these charcoal. Charcoal for the most part is the same size, but it's also going to retain heat. So as this charcoal starts to burn out, these things are going to get extremely hot, and they're going to help maintain that heat, which is going to make for a more efficient fire. Also, the drippings from the meat dripping onto this lava rock, infusing back into the meat, gives it an incredible flavor. So that's the reason I decided to go with that. You know, if you'll notice, I've only got one area with the charcoal in it. That's where the ribs are going. A little later on, a couple hours down the road, we're going to add some to this other section here. That's where the chicken will go, and then as sausage comes into play, I'll just put that wherever. But I'm only utilizing only half the capacity of this grill, and actually I won't even be utilizing that, but I'll actually have that much for charcoal. We're also getting ready to fire the brasero up. We're going to have some wood logs burning over here to the side, and as I need to replenish this fuel, instead of using lump, I'll be using post oak embers. So that's how we're going to roll on today's cook. Let's do it. All right, so I've got these over here on indirect side, just so I can season these up. All I'm applying to this one rack is a kosher salt. Later on, we'll be adding a sauce that I made, and I'll explain the sauce once we get to that. But that's what's really going to flavor this up. But for now, just salt. And for the majority of this cook, these will be cooking bone side down. We want to heat these bones up and get them hot, and that's actually going to help cook the rest of the meat. Then we'll flip them over when it's time and get us a nice color on these ribs. Go ahead and apply salt on this side. That should be plenty of salt. Ribs are not that thick, so you don't want to overdo it. And by the way, this thing is putting out some really good heat. But I'm going to go ahead and put another rub on this other rack, and what I'm using is a Kansas City smoked rub. This is from the Stephen Raichlen Project Smoke. This is going to have that Kansas City flavor. We're just going to apply a generous amount on the back where the bones are. And by the way, this meat comes from Matador Prime Steak Company, and the membrane's already been removed. Man, I love when that happens. Gotta love that. Not that it's that hard to do or anything, but it's just one less thing you gotta do. All right, that's looking pretty good. I've already mentioned that I'm gonna be doing bone side down towards the fire. We got one rack going here. We got one rack going here. And I'm gonna raise this grill some. I want this to start slowly to give me time to monitor it and see how we're doing. Let's try that there. So just putting my hand over this, yeah, that's taking about 8 to 10 seconds to where it really gets hot. So we're pretty close. Hey, I'm going old school. We're not using any thermometers as far as monitoring temperature on the grate. I could do that. I could put some oven thermometers on here and know what temperature I'm at different grates. But I love doing things the way I used to do things before all these digital gadgets come out. And that's exactly what we're doing here. We're going by look, we're going by feel, and we're going by what we really know, our intuition. Now, one thing I'm going to do here in just a second is I'm going to add some onions also in this charcoal. And what that's going to do, not only is it going to impart another flavor into these ribs, it's going to add moisture into the meat. So that's it for now. I'll bring you back here in a little bit with more. All right, we are about 1 hour and 15 minutes into this. I just want to show you the color. Now that's over direct fire, but I've got it, like I said earlier, to where I can hold my hand there about 8 to 10 seconds. It's slowly cooking, and if you'll notice here, you can see right above this bone it's bubbling, and you can see it bubbling out of the bone. The bones are actually cooking this pork from the inside out. That's the reason when we do flip these, they won't have to go long at all. They'll be almost done. And also, it's already starting to get some pullback. This is unlike anything I've ever done. I got to be honest with you. It's totally different, but man, it's fun, and it's smelling insane out here. All right, so I've raised my grate because I'm getting ready to put charcoal, the lump charcoal over here on the side. We're going to do the chicken just to get it started. And also, while I got it up, which it don't have to be up, but I've got embers over here, and I've been adding these as I went. You know, as I've been going, I've been adding logs to the bracero. So I'm also going to add some lit embers from the wood over here above the ribs. Ribs are looking fantastic. So let's go ahead, and we're just going to start this with the lump. All right, so I'm going to grab me some embers here. Start them back here at the back. And all we're doing is just reinforcing what's already there. There's plenty already there, but they do burn up fairly quickly. All right, so I'm going to adjust this back down. Let's try it right there, see what we got. That's feeling good, and that's definitely hot. All right, on with the chicken. Now this chicken, just like I did on the ribs, all I did was apply salt. I'll lay him right there. And this chicken, I used the rub. I'll show you the rub here in just a second. So the rub I used on the other chicken is Right all-purpose seasoning. I've used this in the past. It's really good. This happens to be the beef lovers blend. I didn't even notice. I just grabbed one, but it's made by Right Rub. So I'm going to close the door on the Santa Maria. We're just going to let this cook. I'm going to monitor it. I still haven't flipped my ribs yet, and I'm starting to get a really good bend on them, so it shouldn't be too far. Getting some good pullback. Really excited how this is working out. So I'll bring y'all back here once, you know, we get some color on the chicken and we start flipping things. So I just probed these, and these are starting to probe tender. And I'm really amazed at the time. You can see the pullback on the bones already, like in here and here. So I'm thinking we're within 40 minutes of these being done. So what I want to do is I made a sauce for this South American style ribs. And basically what I've added is I took 1 tablespoon of chopped garlic. I added a couple tablespoons of oregano. I added 1/4 cup of orange juice, 1/4 cup of lime juice, about a teaspoon of honey. I put 1 cup of chopped onion. I also added about a teaspoon of chopped chipotle pepper. And I also added about a tablespoon of the adobo sauce, 1/4 cup of olive oil. And that's it. That makes up the sauce. And here it is right here. It smells fantastic. I've had it chilling out in the refrigerator. I made this early this morning, so it's had time to marry and kind of come together. So I want to cook it on this side for a little while longer before I flip these, but I want this sauce on there. Now I will be saucing the other ribs as well, but that's going to be right there towards the end. Man, I'm loving it. It's just such a controlled cook. It's very controlled. And it's the same thing. We're on the bone side, it's going down. We're just going to leave it at that. We're going to have it elevated just to the right length to where I'm not burning the inside, but instead I'm cooking it from the bones upwards. Then we'll finish it off on the other side for a nice golden brown. Okay, so since you've seen me last, I flipped these meat side down. This rack here, the South American style. And then I flipped them back over, basted them again, and went right back down. I also did the back side, let them sit on its side a little bit. Now we're going to sauce these USA All-American barbecue type ribs. And the sauce that I'm using is Stephen Reichlen's Project Smoked Chipotle Molasses. So I think that's going to pair very well with the rub that we used. All right, so I'm not too worried about saucing the bone side on these. We're just going to flip these over. Look at the beautiful color on that. I mean, I would be proud. And look at the bend. I mean, these things are looking good. Nice color. Nice pullback. So I'm just going to take this sauce. We're just going to run it across here like this. Take our basting brush. Let's give them some good coverage. So saucing the ribs normally means that you're getting real close to being finished, and that's exactly right. We'll probably let that go about 10-15 minutes. We're going to flip them back over right now. Now I've been adding embers to this fire as needed. When it dies down, I'm not really getting my heat up here like I've been doing. When I'm doing that 8-second count, then I add some more in there. That's the other rack of ribs with the sauce already on. That's all we're doing to these. There again, nice bend, nice pullback. We're just gonna let them finish out, meat side down. Let these go about another 15, maybe 20 minutes, just set that sauce, and these will be ready. And I'm either going to foil these, or I'm either going to just move them on indirect heat and just let them hang out. That might be what I do. So I did what I said. I was going to put a rack of ribs over here, completely away from the heat. I've got the other rack all the way over there, completely away from the heat. So I loaded up different sausages, and this is a hot link from Matador Prime Steak Company. He sent me all this sausage. Now, on the box, this is called a shiner, and I already know somebody's going to ask me, what is shiner? I'm assuming it's similar to a bratwurst with like a shiner bock beer, maybe. I don't know exactly. I've never had this, and I've had a lot of his, and they're always excellent. And this is a jalapeno and cheddar sausage. I have had that, outstanding. I haven't had the hot link either, so I'm looking forward to all of those. And just like we're doing with the chicken, we're just going to slow cook these till we get the color, get them done on the inside. And hopefully these will time out about the time the chickens are ready. And these should be about ready to flip here maybe in another 10-15 minutes. All right, so I've got another sauce that I made just for this chicken. And into that, I've got 1/4 teaspoon of ground coriander. I've got about a teaspoon of cracked black pepper. I've got about 1.5 teaspoons of red chili flake. You can adjust that to your own taste. I've got about 4 or 5 cloves of garlic, and I've also got 2 tablespoons of a dried oregano. I use fresh oregano in the other sauce that you've seen for the ribs. This is a dried oregano. And I've got 1 tablespoon of red vinegar, 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and the juice of 1/2 of a lime, and that's what this is made up of. Now you can adjust all that to your own taste, but this actually works out pretty good. So I'm going to take and I'm going to coat this chicken here. This is the one with just the salt. This is the one with the rub. It'll get a different sauce. We've got some pretty good color on this chicken. I flipped it back over, It's getting a little charred right in the middle, but a little bit of char is just right in my opinion. Now what I'm going to do is probably flip this back over just for a few minutes. I've lowered my grate, so I'm a little bit hotter than what I was. But we're going to apply a good application to this. We're going to flip it over. Then I'm going to do the inside as well. Now this has oregano. Oregano can burn pretty easy, but it is in olive oil, so the olive oil will slow that down long enough for this to do what it's going to do. This one is almost trying to come apart on me. This thigh here, I'm already reading about 175 in that thigh, so we are technically done. We're just going to let this sauce set for a few minutes, and it probably will come to pieces. The only thing holding this thigh on is the skin. So I'm going to go ahead and apply some sauce to this side, and I'll be back with y'all here in a little bit. We're going to sauce this other bird up. I'm going to go ahead and sauce this other chicken. I'm using a Wright barbecue sauce. This is a peach chipotle, and man, let me tell you what, that's some really good sauce. And I use this quite a bit just around the house here. It's really good stuff. What I'm going to do is apply some to the back. We're just going to work that in with this brush. And once I get this worked in, I'm just going to flip it over. And we're going to do the top side. We're going to let this set probably 10-15 minutes. Then we're going to flip the top side back over, let it go 10-15 minutes. So the next time you see me, I will probably be inside with all of this meat gathered up in some big pans where I can get it all inside. And we're going to do some taste tests and tell you how it is. We are done. I tell you what, it's been a fun day. It can actually be a lot of work if you want to call it work. This is my kind of fun. I love cooking over open fire like this. Take a look at these ribs. This is our South American flavors. This is our sauced and rubbed American type barbecue here. And we're just going to dive right in. I'm going to go right into one of these ribs. It don't matter where. Let's just cut one out of here. I've got a lot of things to taste. So that's exactly what we're going to do. Now, as to be expected, you're not going to have a lot of smoke ring when grilling. But look at that. Look at the moisture. That is super moist. Love this technique. All right, here we go. Really good flavors. That's got a good bite through. It's not too tender. It's just about where I figured it would be at. Excellent ribs. It's salty, but not too salty. The salt really brings out the other flavors. That sauce that I put on there, it's just lending itself a great flavor to these ribs. So let's try these. I'm no stranger to these. These are normally what I do. These are just typical American type barbecue ribs, but we're going to taste them nonetheless. We're going to take a look at them. There again, take a look at all the moisture. Look at that. Loads of moisture. Let's see how these are. Perfect bite through. Excellent. Okay. Those are my ribs. Those will go on my plate. I'm just doing a quick taste on everything. All right, here's our chicken. This is the South American style. This is thigh meat, which is one of my favorites, the dark meat. There again, I don't know how well that camera is picking up all that juiciness, the glistening, but very tender, very juicy. Imparted a really nice grill flavor into that. That sauce is great on it. I'm digging these South American flavors. Excellent. All right, now let's check our barbecue chicken out. Same thing. Let me get one with a little bit of sauce here. That skin's got a nice bite through. It's not necessarily crispy, but it's got a nice bite through. In other words, it's not rubbery, and that's what you want. That's that peach chipotle from Wright. and fantastic sauce, fantastic rub. All of this so far is a winner. There's only one thing left to try, and I say that my wife has made all kind of sides over here. We got some barbecue baked beans. I don't know what else she made, but it's a feast. Now this is that sausage that he called Shiner. So we'll give it a try first. Yeah, I think that's similar to a bratwurst. That's pretty good. All right, this one I've had before. This is the jalapeno and cheddar. I really like that one. That's one of my favorites. Now this is the hot. You can see almost like a, I don't know if that's hot sauce or what, but we're fixing to find out. What I think we have just a pile of some excellent food here ready to eat. My family's here. They are starving. They've been waiting on me all day. And so we're getting ready to cut this video off. I hope you enjoyed it. And I hope you kind of dig this new technique like with the Santa Maria. And it's just a different approach to things. And my God, does it impart some nice flavor. I'll be cooking on this for a while. Y'all are going to see a lot of this grill. Hope you enjoyed it. Till next time, smoke your ribs.